Zealand a 4-goal advantage. Good vision, good speed by the South Africans. Oh,
great elevation there.
Nearly from Jane Watson, the goalkeeper for New Zealand. But South Africa still trying to find a way through.
Indeed, great possession by South Africa there. Really had lots of patience before they got the ball into the circle, and well finished off by Paper.
So 14 playing 11. Oh, to Daisy. Of all the players New Zealand don't want to go down, it will be the golden hands of Maria Tusair. Wasn't me. It's quick. And play is resumed. It shows the speed though, Ebony. I played in Pamela Cookie's testimonial match just before Christmas, and I work on this, I sit courtside, but until you play international netball, you don't realise how fast it is and how fast you guys move, and the vision and everything that has to come with it.
I think when I've got friends who come to internationals and have also come to the Super League, and they're so impressed at how swiftly we move the ball, how physical the game now is. And I think everyone's becoming more and more transfixed as we're getting thicker, faster and more agile.
My lungs weren't impressed, I can tell you that. Or my hamstrings.
It happens to us all.
Contact wing.
So these are the fittest as they come, with the 4 best teams competed in this quad series. And it's with New Zealand.
Great drive by Tutaya there to lead South Africa on 3 under the post.
Tutaya, she's not just a great shooter, is she? In that goal attack position, she works every piece of the zone that she's allowed to work in. She's not a goal hanger. She's out and about, and she's doing stuff in lots of different areas.
I think that's what makes her so difficult to mark, because you don't know quite where you are with her. Are you marking her in the circle? Are you trying to keep her out?
So it's stretched to 4 for New Zealand. It was a 3-goal advantage after the first 15 minutes. Up and over.
Great shot, great use of the backspace by South Africa there. Really left the New Zealand fans exposed.
And straight as you like off the centre pass. New Zealand reply and get it back to a 4-goal advantage. Well, back with New Zealand through the centre third. We talk about a lot of the players that aren't here for some of the, the biggest teams, but of course the Silver Ferns having to get used to life without no Laura Langman, of course, for the first time in God knows how long, with New Zealand's rule of if you want to be in our national team, you have to play in our league.
It's definitely one of the biggest omissions, and not to see a New Zealand Ferns team without Laura Langman is a rarity, and obviously something that's going to be very, very different for them. But throughout the quad series, I think they've adapted very well. I thought Francois come on beautifully, and in terms of linking those combinations, it's improved from game to game.
Well, that's it. It is what it is. That's the New Zealand rule. We've just got to get used to no long white socks and shrieking.
Indeed.
A little bit quieter on the New Zealand front. But as you say, they're now playing well, and they're 6 goals up against the South Africans. Oh!
Don't you just hate that as a shooter?
Oh, all the time, Ebony, yeah. No, mine don't get that close. South Africa looking for space.
Oh, again, use of the back space, splitting the 2 New Zealand Silver Ferns. Great space underneath the post for Puka to sink the goal. Well, I've been particularly impressed with South Africa, the amount of patience they have that they're showing against the Ferns. They're not afraid to do 2, 3, 4 passes just to make sure the ball gets through the circle.
Passes of trust and goalkeeper. Midway,
bit of extra pace on that one.
A bit of a bullet.
Yes.
Ball with New Zealand then. Under 10 minutes remaining until half time. A 6-goal advantage now for the Silver Ferns. the 4 times World Cup winners, of course. Their last one, that World Cup back in 2003.
Yes.
They'll be looking for much of the same in terms of the final place in Liverpool in a couple of years.
New Zealand. Contact, goal defence, Denison. And contact centre. Touching centre.
Umpires are busy.
They are indeed, but they're also letting quite a lot of advantage, so it's allowing the game to flow. So I know as an athlete and a player myself, very much the time we want the game to roll and let it flow. So I feel like they've got an appropriate level of interaction. So no, not too many warnings as we saw in the England-Australia game.
The advantage has grown to 8 goals now for New Zealand. Oh, lovely take.
Great shooter to shoot a ball there. Well finished off.
Lovely move to get it just a bit nearer the shooting post.
South Africa have a real opportunity here. Not often you get a steal off the Silver Ferns. Hopefully they can capitalise on this turnover.
Oh, the space was there. And the goal's there as well. A smile from the knees pot heater, the 22-year-old. 22 playing 16 then. Oh, she nearly ran out of time, and then that forced the error, and it gets back in the hands of New Zealand.
I think it's the indecision the New Zealand fans created then. You almost just see a wall in front of you sometimes. You don't know whether to go forward, backwards, upwards. So great pick up and a great steal.
Well, in terms of shots, both teams are on 25 apiece. But the difference is the Silver Ferns have converted 88% of theirs, and 64% is the figure on South Africa at the moment.
I think those stats really tell a story. I think if South Africa convert more, we'll see a much closer match.
Contact, goal shooter, penalty.
Space. A lot of space there for the New Zealand centre, Shannon Francois. She's a hard worker, the New Zealand centre.
Again, we see the zone defence applied by the New Zealand Ferns, but again, South Africa is showing such patience just to work the ball, try and get down to circle edge. Hopefully they can convert this.
Penalty.
And Somi with the ball, the South African captain.
What South Africa doing well, they're really exposing the Ferns' back space here. I think 1, 2, 3 times we've seen the ball lofted to Poitaita, and the New Zealand Ferns' defence just standing still in front, watching the ball go over their heads. You absolutely hate that as a defender. Shuffle shot, shuffle shot, shuffle shot. But well finished off by Fabi Rickett.
Why do you hate it? Is that because like they've thrown it back to you and you've given it back once and then they do it again? It's just like, look, either take the shot or...
Exactly.
Why is that annoying?
I think it's annoying because you're as a defender you're thinking they're going to turn around and shoot. So now she's making me work 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah, you're going to have to go off as well.
She's going to have to go off as well.
Centre.
Going to try and establish the South African goal defence. The captain, Katrina Grant, potentially blood on the legs for both the players, which of course
means they have to exit the court and be attended to before they can return.
And can they return immediately, or do they have to wait a certain period of time?
They'll have to notify the umpire, and then she'll deem when it's appropriate for them to re-enter the court. Just took her eye off the ball there.
We've got it back in the possession.
Beautiful feed.
Lovely take.
Feed.
But not capitalised by pot heater for South Africa. It would have been an important goal as well because it would have brought them back to 5 behind the Silver Ferns, but it's them now on a charge.
Suction. Don't go. New Zealand.
And it goes right down the other end, and New Zealand do what South Africa would have wanted. The 7-goal advantage, less than 5 minutes remaining before half-time.
Goalkeeper, step forward.
South Africa will have to adjust as to how they're going to approach the attacking circle. You'll notice Bailey Maz is now on court, and she's very much a holding shooter, very strong in the air. So the South Africa goalkeeper will definitely have to play in front in order if she wants to win ball.
Contact, big attack, penalty. Big attack.
So we wait to see if the blood injuries, as it were, will be tidied up, and players will be brought back on before half-time. But at the moment, New Zealand in control now with an 8-goal lead.
Contact, goalkeeper.
South Africa won't want this lead to get too far out, so they're going to have to respond, and they're going to have to respond quite quickly.
There's Tutayer there, a shot of her right knee bandaged because of the blood issue. See at the top of the shot, hands on her hips.
Great fake by Selby Rickett there to play Bailey Mez underneath the post, and well finished off on the baseline.
The 10-goal advantage now then for the Silver Ferns. Looking to end their quad series travels with a win. And there's confirmation at the moment of the New Zealand team that are on court. Selby Rickett in the goal attack position, and Bailey Mess in the goal shooter.
Inside. Side wing defence, free pass, South Africa.
A little bit scrappy from both sides at the moment.
Side wing defence, advantage, obstruction, goalkeeper. Obstruction, goal defence. Step forward, please. And again, forward, forward. Thank you, yes.
And it goes in for South Africa.
Time. Ball attack.
And there's confirmation
Can you just
of the South African team on court.
That's fine, thank you.
Tutayer. Comes back onto the court. Oh, lovely take.
Awkward bounce there. They'll be really disappointed with that because the attacker on full flow there, so they'll be wanting to make the turnover as she's just done.
Contact, sorry ladies, contact centre. Step back wing.
So 2 minutes remaining until half-time. It's a 10-goal advantage at the moment. It's still a 10-goal advantage.
Almost actually never left.
I think you could put a blindfold on Maria Tutayer and she'd still get it in, let alone a little bit of strapping on her knee. But what was impressive, even though that little short piece of time that she was off the court, New Zealand still forging ahead now, a 10-11 goal advantage over South Africa.
I think it just shows that the confidence they have within each other. They know they've turned the ball over, and they know that if they provide their shooting opportunities, they're going to sink it. So
the final 60 seconds before half-time. New Zealand, well, they started this second quarter with a 3-goal advantage. They're currently increasing that to a 12-goal advantage. A little sigh from Janine Southby, but not one of disappointment or frustration, Ebony? She must be pleased as we head towards half-time.
She's definitely got to be pleased with the team. I think they've been thorough on defence, and in terms of shooting opportunities, they've had lots and lots and lots, and they've been sinking them. I think she will be wanting the defence to come out with more ball higher up the court, so it's probably something that they can look at in the second half.
Contact with defence penalty.
So a little bit of time, of course, at half-time, more than between the quarters, for both coaches to have conversations and make changes if they wish. And the final few seconds now then, as we head towards half-time, New Zealand, they tried very, very quickly to try and get the ball down to increase their score. But it has been increased from a 3-goal advantage after the first 15 minutes. New Zealand now have 30 and South Africa 18. So it's going to be very interesting what happens at half-time, what changes are potentially made, and can South...
What was the plan at the start? Scorelines, you don't go out, we're going to lose by 10. It's about what was your plan, did you execute it, did individuals stand up, and did you come out with something you learned from the game? Because sometimes you know you're not going to beat these teams.
Exactly. It's whether today was an opportunity to do it, and at the moment New Zealand have the lead. There's confirmation now of the team that's on court for South Africa. Mostert now in goal defence, Lube in centre. And it was just the quad series last year, the inaugural quad series, that Norma Plummer did say, look, I want to close the gap on the world top 4. I want to make a strong impression on world netball. Well, in this second quad series, I think it's fair to say, as you said, Tamsin, that they're doing that.
Yeah, they are, and this quad two has just shown how close a lot of the top teams actually are on any given day, and that it comes down to a lot of key players. You know, if Maria Tutai has an off day shooting, what's the Silver Ferns backup plan? You know, Kim Revillion today, the leader, the one that is always so solid for Australia, got angry today, and that let England into the game. So everybody has their weakness, and it's about exposing those, because they are all great players. It's now about putting the 4 quarters together and having a game plan that works for your team.
14 goals up now in the first couple of minutes, from 12 at half-time up to 14 in this third quarter. New Zealand extend it one more time. Janine Southby and her team look on. But we know South Africa will just keep going. Keep to the game plan that you talk about, Tamsin.
Yeah, in games like this you have to keep plugging away. You have to believe that you can win ball, that you've got those moments to take it to goal. It's difficult though when you're under the pump or when you're this far down. And I think you've seen a bit of complacency from both the Ferns and the Diamonds today in what they were facing. Especially in this game from the Ferns, they've made uncharacteristic errors. Ball that's sort of gone flying off sidelines you wouldn't usually see.
Why is that?
Sometimes you're just a bit more relaxed. You know, they knew they were going to win this game today, so it was about... It's hard to get players up to that intensity and that level all the time, and that's the mental side of the game. You know, this is not an athlete where it's one-on-one, you know you. This is getting 7 players at any given time on that court to be thinking how you want them to think, and we know that just doesn't happen. That's why I always say the game plan is so important, so everybody knows their role and their job.
Well, the game plan for New Zealand will be, or would have been, to end the quad series here in London with a win, and so far they're in the driving seat. They're 13 goals up now in this third quarter.
And that was a much better shutdown from the Ferns. They've been exposed in that backspace with Paulita. Oh, and a big hit there as well on Grace Rasmussen. She'll get up there, but set up perfectly for Jane Watson. That was a great switch in the circle between her and Grant. That obviously got fed up of seeing that ball go over their head, and that was a great switch to intercept that ball.
Tutai, she waits for the defender to jump, the defender lands back on the ground, and then she just pops.
I don't think it matters what the defender does, to be honest. Catherine?
How do you combat a player like Maria Tutai?
You can't stop her doing what she's very good at, so you either come up with a plan to make it very difficult for her to take the ball in the circle. What a ball that was, by the way, and that's that backspace that keeps getting exposed. Or you shut other players down. You let Bailey Mez take the shots on. you make Maria Tutai come out and have to do all the centre pass work.
All obstruction, and that's a caution on my whistle.
Caution from the umpire.
Yeah, I think that was quite a weak one. It's not really been as physical as I'd expect this game. It was just more because it was a bit of a late hit, and you heard the crowd as well. Ooh and ah with it.
The 15-goal lead now for the Silver Ferns, with 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter. South Africa, though, working hard as ever.
Frustrating that for the South Africans, having a ball on the edge of the circle from a penalty like that to get a held ball. Got to keep the ball alive, going backwards. They were doing that nicely in the first quarter. They've stopped doing that now. They're trying to play so direct.
Another one goes in for New Zealand. 16 goals the advantage now.
Nice steal there, Bongi Msomi. And a great feed into Bongi there, off balance as well.
Yeah, the South African fans here at Wembley enjoying that one.
If you watch the Silver Ferns play, and somebody like Watson, she's so active, so she'll step out to things to make it look like the back space is open, and then she'll go for the intercept on the fly, just like you're seeing here. So if you're smart, keep your feet down, change your option, you can actually play some really nice ball against them. But to do that consistently for 60 minutes, you have to be on it, you have to be thinking, you have to be balanced, and you have to feel confident.
New Zealand looking for space, but Moster gets in when the ball goes with South Africa.
Well, great running through there from Moster. That's her strength. That's why she's been picked up in the Aussie League. She'll be perfect style for them. She just ran her feet through there. Bailey Mez had already planted.
First right wing attack.
Nice acrobats there by Harrison. And that's why they work on their core.
New Zealand bring it up to 39-24. So a 15-goal advantage for the Silver Ferns.
That is obstruction win. Contact, goal defence.
Chance to pull one back. Taken.
New Zealand.
Seeing Grace Rasmussen there coming off for Gina Crampton. Don't think it looks like an injury, so it's more of a tactical change. I'm guessing they just want to get the players out there. This is the last game of the series for them. So Gina Crampton came on and was good the other day. She was solid, so it'd be nice to start cementing that position for her as well, so they've got options.
Contact wing defence penalty.
A couple of test caps for Crampton before for the 25-year-old. And brought on in this third quarter for New Zealand. Tutai.
Well, Crampton plays with Francoise back home, so we've got a partnership there already.
Moster looking for space.
Contact wing defence. Step back, wing attack. Wing attack, step back.
Oh, well weighted there by Msomi to see that back space. You can see Grant and Watson doing a much better job though. It's not on the first option. They had to swing that ball twice before the back space opened up. So they obviously had a talking to at half time about what they want to shut down. There's Moster on the drive again. She is so lethal, and you talked about her earlier how you stop Maria Tutai. You do things like that. You challenge her up the court because that's not her strength.
I'll call it, ladies. Yes.
Now the vice captain
That is obstruction, goal
of
attack.
South Africa, Carla Moster. She went off for a blood injury, if I remember, against Australia. But she's in one piece today and in super form, and trying to keep her South African team in this match with New Zealand. But at the moment, the Silver Ferns in control with just over 5.5 minutes remaining till the final quarter. Somi working so hard in the wing attack position, really working the sideline to get it into the shooting circle.
That was actually really patient play from the South Africans then, so although it's frustrating to watch because you're wondering why they can't go so direct, the New Zealand structure of their defence through the court makes it so difficult. Where you break it, you've got to take them on the front cuts, you've got to try and take that ball under pressure almost to really break their unit, but that's hard, especially at this stage in the game when you're tired as well and someone's got to keep taking on the cuts and almost taking the hits as you go through it.
Under 5 minutes remaining then in the third quarter. The 12-goal advantage that New Zealand had has been stretched out, turning the screw on the South Africans.
Yeah, and I think they've settled more since Mez has come into that shooting position with Tutai as well. Seen another timeout. Berger coming back on into the middle for South Africa. Again, she's a key player for the South Africans. She's been in that position for so long. She's a physical player, gets stuck in, but a smart player as well.
Well, 10 years Erin Berger has been in the national squad now. She's 30 on Friday and she's back on court trying to get her South African team to stay in this match in the third quarter.
Contact wing defence, penalty. Obstruction, goalkeeper, penalty.
Confirmation then of Erin Berger back on court in that centre position. She had an outstanding match against Australia with the centre.
Much better cut there by Ramsomi and then a good choice to go back. So they're the cuts and drives you have to take on through this team. So you can come back up and try and spread them and then you've got to take on the cut. But look at the work from Harrison and Francois out the front to create that for Katrina Grant there. Just shutting down the little cuts, and that's why it becomes so difficult. If you can't get the cut on, you then have to have the shooters that come out and exit, or you have to go backwards. It's hard work.
Goal stands.
Another caution there for the South Africans. Not sure it's necessarily granted. The Ferns weren't complaining too much, you know, with this lead on as well. It's more that they're getting caught behind the body and doing some of the silly things rather than persistent contact.
Well, we're close to a 20-goal advantage now for New Zealand in this third quarter. Really stretching away now in this final match in the quad series.
This Norman Plummer I don't think we'll be happy with. The game's just ticking away, it's just going on. It's interesting, isn't it, how the England and South Africa have both struggled against the Kiwis, and yet they've had really solid performances against the Aussie Diamonds. Obviously the Roses having a better performance, but Norman Plummer being so happy with her side as well. And that comes back to those styles, you know, and yet Australia Diamonds are the ones that always take New Zealand. It's an interesting one.
Goal defence, your arm. Yes. Goal defence, you're out of play, no talking. Yes.
Grant stands by.
And you see Kelly Jory's in there as well.
Contact, that is goal.
Great up and coming player for the Kiwi. She's actually in the under-21s New Zealand squad. Has a height on her. I don't know where they keep finding all these tall players.
Under 2 minutes remaining then till the final 15 minutes. It is a 21-goal advantage now for New Zealand.
And I'm actually liking seeing what the Silver Ferns have done there in the attack end. They're being far more patient. You're seeing less ball just flying and doing hopeful balls. They're actually being smart, playing the ball backwards, getting the South African unit to move out of the way, and then popping the ball over. Just that extra pass.
Is it the extra pass because they've turned the screw, or are South Africa starting to flag in terms of fitness? How can they do that? How can they put that gap and do exactly what they want to do? Is it them doing better, or is it the opposition getting poorer?
Well, you can see from that sort of textbook that they've been working on this. The shooters offloading to the centre court, quick 1-2s around the edge. So that's the Kiwis' game plan. If you look at the errors they made in the first half, and actually we say they were sloppy, they only made 9. It's not a huge amount, but it was the nature of them, because they were sloppy. They were throwing ball too quickly, off balance, trying to lob in hopeful balls, whereas now they're actually gone back to the game plan. And you need to do that against the weaker opposition as well, because then things like that open up. Then you can play those. You can't just do that from the beginning. And what a fantastic ball that was to Mez.
So Bailey Mess shooting 20 from 22 at 90%. She really has come in and is playing a big part in this match, which now sees New Zealand in the final few seconds before the fourth quarter. 51 goals to 30. And the buzzer goes. So, 3 up after the first quarter, 12 up after the second quarter, and it's 51 goals, playing 30 now for the New Zealand team. It's exactly what they would have wanted in their final Quad Series match before they head back down under for the New Zealand netball season. And our courtside reporter, Gail Davis, well, you've been looking around, Gail. You've been catching up with people. Who have you got?
Okay, great. Well, thanks very much. Joining me now, 2 ladies at the very top of their game, enjoying an afternoon of netball. Look at you with your gold medal there. Shona, you won it as part of the hockey team with Great Britain in Rio. It's your first time at netball this afternoon. What did you make of England's performance?
Yeah, it was such an exciting game. I didn't realise how quick it was. I think it's great to have it at Wembley as well, and to be able to fill out Wembley is absolutely fantastic for netball. I haven't played since school, so I was a bit rusty on the rules, but what a close game it was at the end, and it was so unlucky for the girls not to get that draw.
Different sport for you, Laura, is it? Cricketer. But I guess when you see an arena full, it's so noisy, the atmosphere, it just shows you how far female sports come in the last few years. I mean, you know part of that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've never been to watch a game of netball live, so it's my first time, and the atmosphere was just amazing, and I'm sure it really lifted the girls out there. Just, I guess, a shame they couldn't pull through and win, but yeah, the atmosphere was fantastic.
The question is, will you both be back? Have you enjoyed it enough to see yourselves watching England again?
I hope so, and if not, definitely on the TV. I heard it was on Sky Sports today, and also BBC, so that's great. So if I can't come down for whatever reason, I'll definitely be watching on the TV.
You're a convert as well, Laura?
Yeah, I think so, and obviously the girls have got their World Cup coming up as of we, so I'm sure we'll all be following each other.
Yeah, busy few months for both of you. I'm glad 2 more fans won over here this afternoon.
Well, lots of fans, Gail, and been keeping Gail busy from earlier on. She's been catching up with loads of netball fans, gold medalists as well. So the final 15 minutes then here at Wembley, 51 playing 30. The players chat between themselves. And it's the final 15 minutes of this Quad Series, Tamsin, and we saw there Janine Southby and also Norma Plummer. What are the words that would have been spoken?
Well, Jean Southby will be, well, I should imagine will be pleased with that 15 minutes she's just seen. They were much more composed. They stuck to task far better. Norma Plummer, I think you've seen some changes. I think we saw Stoles as the goal and tap bib on there. Nothing to lose now in this final game. A real opportunity to get players out.
Yeah.
We hear Maria Tutayi there, and that's great. It's that they're actually in a position where they can try some things. You know, it's great that players feel comfortable in that, and that's what New Zealand have been doing this afternoon, because this has been a sort of an easier game for them. They've actually started to practice certain things out there, and it's nice to be able to do that in front of a crowd and actually in a pressure situation, because they're so comfortable now with the lead.
Well, they are in a comfortable lead. The fourth quarter about to start. New Zealand 51, South Africa 30. And as Maria Tutaye said, let's try it. That's the luxury that you mentioned, Tamsin, and it's quite right, because as you say, international competition, we're up, we're going to win the match.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got on the biggest stage.
Yeah, and it's great to see that. You saw the game before, if you watched the Diamonds versus the Roses, you know, there wasn't much opportunity to try things. You know, you messed up on that game and it cost your team the game. So it's a good opportunity now the Kiwis have got this to actually look at things they've been working on. You can see some of the connections. They have a real clear structure and a real clear game plan, and it's working for them.
And the same, of course, for Norma Plummer on the opposite, end of the scale, as it were. They're losing now by over 20 goals as we get confirmation of the team on court for South Africa with Stoltz and Zimbella coming on. But it's the same for her team to work in this situation when they are down.
Yeah, well, for her it's slightly different. She's looked at putting the players out onto court. So you've seen Stoltz come into goal attack there. They've been changing the defence end as well. And that gives the opportunity for some of those players that haven't had a great amount of court time to come on with no pressure, with nothing to lose. They're not going to drag back a 22-goal deficit.
New Zealand!
A 23-goal deficit now in this final quarter. It was a 5-goal loss against England, a 16-goal loss against Australia. So potentially...
She does miss. Look at that.
I blinked twice.
I'm not sure she'll be too fussed about that shot, to be honest.
Well, she shot 19 from the 24 that she's attempted, 79%. But Bailey Mess, as you mentioned, she's shooting at 91%. Only missed 2 goals of her attempts this afternoon.
I think she's come on really well today in this game. Bailey Mez has had a lot of stick to deal with probably over the last couple of seasons coming into the squad and not having big names like Larky in the squad anymore and the pressure she's been under Mez, but I think she's coming on, and actually the plan for her to work with Maria Tutai works really, really well, and I think that's the coaching stamp. That's what you have to decide as a coach, like what are you trying to get out, how do you bring out the players' best strengths, and I think they really are bringing out Maria Tutai's best strengths.
Oh, nice shot. Dean Corbin staying on as you would when the quad series is over. Enjoying the second and final match of the afternoon.
Yeah, they'll feel happier going home after this 1-goal loss than they would have done on Thursday. Sometimes it's nice to get that extra game under your belt, just for the belief, just so you can go out with some confidence knowing what your team can actually do.
Contact, goalkeeper.
Great steal from Mostert. You see, you have moments of brilliance for that individual player. Mostert is a world-class player, but has to be backed up.
It's not very often you see Maria Tutai pass, her long shot specialist. There we go. 55 playing 31, just under 12 minutes to go then. There's contacts called in this final match. New Zealand in cruise control. Oh, nice take.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was meant for her there, but she got on the end of it. This will be interesting. Jory on stole the shot. Oh! What a long goal that was. I saw her warming up earlier today and she was nailing from everywhere, and actually when we saw her in the quad series back in August, September, she was lethal on the long shots. Fortunately for her, in that first game against the Roses, she wasn't getting that percentage, so she's not had much game time since that first match, but good to see her back out there in confidence over Kelly Jory.
Well, it is. Stoltz still only 22 and has been playing for 15 years. You can work out the maths. Started young. Says her role model and her hero, incidentally, is Pamela Cookie.
Oh,
she's had an influence, our Pam, you see.
She has had an influence.
See, there you go, look at that.
I know.
Just like our Pamela. 56 playing 33. We head towards the final 10 minutes of this New Zealand-South Africa battle. Stoltz to Mostert, trying to work the width.
When you play against this sort of style of defence, a lot of the ball gets released on the third second because it's difficult to, because of the style of the defence, they go from one thing to another to throw the ball first second, so it's that mix up there. You saw Berger come off the circle so she could get the third second ball off on Somi to then play it back quickly, and that's how you break it down. But honestly, mentally it's so tough to keep doing that.
23 goals then, the Silver Ferns lead. See, Maria Toutayer doesn't really even give me time to give a score because we follow her and then she just pops another one in.
I think sometimes you just have to sit back and admire
There you
how
go.
brilliant she is. We had a little practice match with Wasps the other day against the Ferns, and we were catching up with Maria afterwards, and she was sort of talking about the England game, and they were pleased, and she was asking actually about commentary and what happens when the score blows out like that. What do you talk about? And I said, we mainly talked about you and just how good you were. She just went, thanks. She's so cool.
Cool and talented, and at the moment her and the New Zealand team are going to close this one and close this quad series with a win.
I bet they're wishing they could have another crack at the Diamonds before they fly home.
Well, it pops in. South Africa now, 36 to good. New Zealand have increased to 69 shots now compared to South Africa's 49. Turnovers 16 apiece. 2 more intercepts for South Africa, 12 playing 10.
It's been a bit of a strange game. Nothing really stands out in terms of, it's not been overly physical. There's not been a huge amount of error rate. It's just been one of those strange games, really. Often what happens when neither team have got much to play for. It wasn't the deciding game on this.
Well, it would have been, as you say, Camden, potentially a completely different matter if England had overhauled the Australians earlier.
And they so nearly did.
They did indeed. And as you say, a good quad season ender for Tracy Neville and her team. But South Africa still taking it to New Zealand. Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, and
Unlucky.
Nice steal by Jory. You see how they make it look open, so the pass has to be pinpoint on that. That's often why the Aussies do so well against the Kiwis, because their skill level is one of the best in the game. They rarely give up the cheap ball. But a lot of other players, they fool you into thinking that ball is on, and it has to be spot on to go. Oh!
Contact centre, penalty, New Zealand.
Yeah, Francoise was actually there first. She got a hand and a leg through. This is what happened at this level when they're running hard at the ball. That was a nice intercept to go up the space, and a brave one as well.
South Africa. Hard to centre.
See Sinclair entering the game. Another young player for the Kiwis. She had her start against the Diamonds in the first quad series, first test of the game, and she was solid. But I think Anna Harrison has given something more out the front there, and I think Francoise having that opportunity after Langman being in that position for so long to actually shine. I think she's been really, really good.
Well, coming on at a good time, Sinclair, with your team in total control of this match. And there's confirmation of that change in centre then, Samantha Sinclair.
Oh, unfortunate by Mostert there again, running through. That's the kind of ball she wants to keep going on, but quick hands from Maria.
Goalkeeper beside, Van's goal, not out.
Just see that experience of Maria there.
New Zealand.
So New Zealand pick up the centre pass.
Oh, great footwork from Bailey Mez. Just that roll into the back space to open up to the ball.
Coming up to the final 5 minutes then. Oh, nearly, Mostert nearly got there.
It's almost like she doesn't want the close range ones there.
I know.
But a great take from Maria Tutaya then under the post, and just that connection between her and Mez, I think that's grown again across this series.
Got four. Whole time.
Oh, another change now, coming thick and fast in the final few minutes.
Got 2 you're out of play.
Yeah, you've got Wilson coming on into the court. Again, another young gun for the Kiwis, another under-21 player. Got lots of time at ANZ last year, and I think was in the top 2 or 3 of shooting percentages. She had a fantastic shot rate. Different sort of style for the Kiwis, more of a holding player. So I'd like to see in these last few minutes whether they can utilise that, get ball into her.
Janine Southby utilising her players as expected. Oh, it stays in.
Mostert has been a class act today. I'm really impressed with her. You can see why she got the call up into the Australian League, and what an opportunity for her as well.
Contact goalkeeper.
Played in the Super League, of course, previously, and now being picked up for the talent that she is. So 4 minutes remaining. It's going to be a big win for New Zealand in this final match, and a heavy defeat for the South Africans. Really has been a real mixed bag for the South Africans, hasn't it, there for this quad series, Tamsin, with the way they played and fought back against England, the narrow victory, as Norma Plummer called it, which is correct, looking at previous results, against the Australians, and then ending it with a defeat, as you've already said, that she might not be happy with, Norma Plummer, with the difference in score.
No, and I just think it goes to show how teams combat different styles of play, and what player matchups you have to do that, and actually what your job is against some of these teams. You know, the Kiwis have caused problems for both the Roses and the South Africans in this series. So both teams will be looking to go, hang on, how are we getting a crack against the Diamonds, who are number 1, who beat the Kiwis, and yet how are we getting these blowout scores against them? And it's almost, what is that plan for them to consistently do? Because that is what you see the Ferns and the Diamonds do. They do their game plan over and over and over again. Which is actually why the Diamonds came out with a win today.
So a South Africa miss means the ball goes fast speed down the other end of the court. And Wilson, a couple of caps before her appearance here in Wembley, slots one in. So just over 2 minutes remaining in the 4th and final quarter. It might not be the way that South Africa wanted to end this quad series, but as with all the teams, Tutaya puts another one in. All the teams would have learnt a lot going towards the Commonwealth Games next year, and of course the World Cup in Liverpool in 2019. And for South Africa, as I mentioned to Paola Tamsin at the moment, the Commonwealth Games are still in Durban in 2022, so a lot to build on for them.
Yeah, of course, and the game is changing. Teams are getting closer. You saw the test series between Jamaica and England just before Christmas. You've seen Malawi, the rise of their netball team. It is getting tighter, and teams are having far more opportunities to play against each other. It is helping the game worldwide.
So the quad series set up to give good international competition to some of the best teams in the world, and 4 have taken part here in this quad series: Durban, Liverpool and London. And as we head towards the final 60 seconds of this 2017 early doors quad series, New Zealand now 69 goals, playing 39. It's a big win for the Silver Ferns.
Contact, swing attack. Yes.
Oh, and there's the tip from Jory. I'm not surprised she got one. The height difference in there is just too great. She got perfect timing on that.
So New Zealand push with the final 30 seconds of this match. New Zealand 3 goals up after the first 15 minutes. They increased that to 12 at half time.
Where you are, Tudor? Where the shooter is.
And in the third quarter,
Forward. Goal, take the
with
forward.
21 goals up. It's going to be a big win and a healthy win for the Silver Ferns.
New Zealand.
And if new netball fans with us on Sky Sports didn't know about the likes of Maria Tutayer before this quad series, where we've covered every single match for you, then you know about her now. The crowd are counting down the clock. The buzzer goes. A big smile from Janine Southby. Her Silver Ferns 70 goals. A big win with New Zealand 70 and South Africa 39. Well,